In this third part of Precalculus Lesson 9, we will be finding real solutions to polynomial equations. This is different than finding real zeros of a polynomial function, although the process is similar. This lesson comes from section 2.4 in the College Algebra textbook. Let's start by finding all real solutions to the equation x to the fourth minus 11x cubed plus 42x squared minus 68x equals negative 40. As we often do with nonlinear equations, we start by getting a zero on one side of the equation. In this case, we would add 40 to each side to give us x to the fourth minus 11x cubed plus 42x squared minus 68x plus 40 equals 0. On the left-hand side now, we have a polynomial expression, and I'm going to solve this equation by finding the zeros of that polynomial expression, which will be the same as the solutions to the equation. Because when you think about it, when we find zeros of a polynomial function, we're finding the values of x that would cause that function to be equal to 0. Okay, so what do we do first here? We're going to find potential rational zeros of this expression. We look at plus 40 as our constant term and our leading coefficient of 1. That's going to give us potential rational zeros of plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 8, plus or minus 10, plus or minus 20, plus or minus 40. Well, we could go through working through a bunch of those, I guess, but I think I'll jump into trying 2 here. And I'm going to divide x minus 2 into 1 times x to the fourth minus 11x cubed plus 42x squared minus 68x plus 40. Using synthetic division, we bring down the 1. We then have negative 9. We get 24 next. Whoops. Wrote that number wrong. 24. And then we have negative 20. And we end up with a remainder of 0. Yay! So we can now use the fact that we found that x equals 2 is a solution of our equation, but it also allows us to factor the left side of this equation into x minus 2 times 1 times x cubed minus 9x squared plus 24x minus 20. Okay, and this would then be equal to 0. Remember, we have an equation here. The next step then would be to try to factor this new polynomial expression, x cubed minus 9x squared plus 24x minus 20, noting that we already have the coefficients of that polynomial expression here. And let's try dividing by x minus 2 again. If we do that, we'll bring down the 1. We get negative 7. We get 10. And we end up with a remainder of 0 again. So this works. We can see that we can now write our equation as x minus 2 times x minus 2 times x squared minus 7x plus 10 equals 0. I can finish factoring on my own here. In fact, x squared minus 7x plus 10 factors into x minus 5 times x minus 2. Then simplifying, we have x minus 2 cubed times x minus 5 equals 0. Our solutions to the equation are x equals 2, and setting x minus 5 equal to 0, we find a second solution would be x equals 5. Okay, on your own, try this problem. Find all real solutions to the equation x cubed minus 2x squared equals 5x minus 6.